Howdy howdy folks, my name's Ian and today you're watching the Helmsburg Sawmill. Make sure to like today's video, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments section. I hope you guys enjoy today's video. And this is what we're doing with that beech. Cants, side lumber, cross ties. It's probably no good.
So we're sawing some old beech logs today, and I'm going to start out by showing you guys one of the nicer beech logs that I sawed, and then after this log we're going to go to the view that I had yesterday. It's a little different. I don't like it quite as much, but it's still enjoyable. But I wanted to start with the conventional view, you know, because I haven't showed me sawing any beech lumber on here yet. So I wanted you guys to see what you normally see. Now these beech logs have been sitting for a minute. We've been obligated sawing other things, and they're starting to get kind of old, so now it's time to saw them up regardless if we have a good market for it or not. So we're going to be sawing the side lumber into 1 inch and just putting it on sticks. Every now and then we'll have customers come in that'll just see a pile of lumber that they like and decide to buy it. So we'll keep a little bit of this in stock, but I'm also trying to get it moved. So I'm sawing the majority of it into cants and cross ties. At certain points on this particular log, you guys are going to hear a little bit of pitter-patter on the way back as I bring it back from the blade, and that's just because the saw's starting to get a little bit of dullness to it. That doesn't mean I have to stop and file right away. It just means that I actually have to pick my feed rate up. That way the top of the head saw leans into that log far enough whenever I'm making the cut. And when it's to the point to where I'm running the log through the saw and the saw is just about to start to lose RPMs and it's still not able to clear the full depth of the edger cuts, that's when I know that I need to stop and file. At least that's a pretty good indicator that I've always used, and I would say that's also another advantage to having that edger right there. So I'm going to talk about the beech itself and how I'm sawing it. That tie that you guys saw me stick my finger in definitely was not good, and I had them just throw it back on the deck so I can take it and just rip it down into cants. I'm not really focused on sawing as much lumber because we're going to have to sit on that for a while, and the cants and cross ties, we're able to move those right away. This is a 12-foot log, and it's nice, but I don't saw it into a cross tie because the 12-foot, that's just too much to trim down. That's too much that we throw away to get a cross tie. On the 12-foot, you can do it on 10. The amount of footage that you lose in the cutoff of the cross tie and the trim doesn't exceed the price difference if you would have just turned it into cants with the 10-foot. So that's why with the 10-footers, I still saw them into 8-foot cross tie or 8-foot 6 cross ties anyway, because it's still just worth it to do that. Now the other unfortunate part is you guys aren't actually going to see me make any ties in today's video. These are just going to be cants. I didn't get any footage of any ties being made, and that's just because we had a breakdown at the end of the day. I actually planned on making this video longer. And when you're going for railroad ties with beech, it's actually more difficult than what it is with red oak or other species, and that's just because beech typically is full of more defects than other species. It's filled with more holes, hollow spots, rotten spots, shake rings, cracks, that sort of thing. All things that would void a cross tie. You'll still get them though, and as a matter of fact, another reason that we decided to go right into the beech was because we're 8 bundles into a load of cross ties. Just, you know, it just happens. They build up when you're sawing red oak grade lumber. So to finish off this load, our thoughts are, hey, let's just saw some of this beech. You know, I only need 40 more ties, and it was a pretty big pile. So by the time we get done sawing the pile of beech, we should have our load of railroad ties. Now beech is actually, the wood looks pretty, and I think it looks very pretty, but as far as our world goes, beech is actually considered a trash species. It grows pretty quickly, and that's why this species makes it hard for other trees to mature and grow up, big and healthy. So if I'm ever like marking a woods and I see a bunch of beech trees, just for timber stand improvement purposes, I'll make sure to thin some of these out. Beech is also a very dense and heavy wood. It's not as dense or heavy as hickory, but it's still pretty wet. Some of you might see me do something later in the video that you might feel like barking at me for, and I'll just go ahead and say what it is right now, and maybe you guys will catch it later. But I lay the log down, and I take my face off the new side, and I have my, my fresh cut, and I go ahead and just rip a cant right off, and I use the edger to take the edging strip off. Now, when you're taking off a cant edging strip, you are losing a little bit of footage, because you're not getting that width further on into the log, because the edger's taking it out and leaving it in that thick edging strip. However, for the sake of moving this in the form of cants and getting paid for what we're sawing, I'm doing it. It's either make that cant and a heavy edging strip, or make 3 more boards that we might have to end up sitting on for a year. We don't know. But I've done quite a bit of talking so far, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. don't worry, this angle right here isn't going to be a replacement for the original. But that's going to be it for today's video, folks. Thank you for watching, and tune in again next time.